Mr. Schilling. But let's talk about what's relevant. Let's talk what's relevant. Okay, so who is Sherry Hollenbeck? 4 years ago, many more than 4 years ago, back in the early stages of my life, that's what I want to take you guys to. A few weeks ago, I was cleaning out the old house with Leslie, the house I grew up in as a child, and there was all these boxes there. And as I started digging through the boxes, I realized there was a lot of school projects my siblings and I did when we were little, like books and report cards and just papers. And as I started digging through them, I saw this one book that caught my attention. The book was about the size of me and it's all tattered and old, and I decided to open up this book. And turns out, it hit me. This book was actually a project that my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Johnson, told me to do. See, she gave the whole class the opportunity to write a book about whatever they were passionate about. And it turns out I wanted to write a book about my future life when I was a grown-up, right? So as I was reading this book, if you can see, let me take back just a slide. This right here talks about my occupation. I want to be this big old brain surgeon, travel out the world, make a ton of money, and be able to retire early. In fact, I want to retire 7 years out of college. That was my goal. And then the next page was I was talking about this house. I wanted to be able to have this big house, like 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, stucco, huge ceilings. That's what I wanted. And then I also started talking about these cars I wanted to buy, these Cadillacs, and I wanted to start talking about being on these planes and jets and fly all over the world. And then I also started talking about all these retirement homes I wanted to have all over the world. And one other part is, imagine this little girl right here presenting. I got to talk about my family and my future husband. And if any of you guys know me, like, listen to this. When it came down to the part about my future husband, I wrote down right there, imagine this little girl sitting there. I said, husband? Who even has time? Like, I've got no time for that. I'm too busy with life, right? See what's funny is some things never change, right? But see, fast forward to the end of the year student-teacher conferences, Mrs. Johnson sat down with my parents, and she started telling my parents about all these good things I did and all these bad things I did and how I could improve, but her closing statement she left my parents with was this right here. She said, let me back up, she said, Sherry, this is about Sherry. It would be a good idea. It would be a good idea if you sit down with Sherry and discuss the realistic goals that better line up with the facts of society. That was Mrs. Johnson for you. Okay, 2 things about Miss Johnson. Number 1, Mrs. Johnson didn't know Sherry Hollenbeck. Number 1, I'll tell you that. Okay. Number 2, Mrs. Johnson didn't understand this. She didn't understand that if the dream is big enough, facts don't count. So let me set Mrs. Johnson straight in front of you guys, okay, ready? Mrs. Johnson, let me tell you fact number 1. Fact number 1 is this. The average American household holds an average of $267,517 in debt. That's fact number 1, Miss Johnson. Okay, let me tell you about me. Me, cars, paid. College, paid. Houses, paid. And by the way, Miss Johnson, that house, she said I couldn't have a 7-bedroom house. Okay, I didn't get no 7-bedroom house, I got an 8-bedroom house, paid. How's that, Miss Johnson? Let me tell you fact number 2, Miss Johnson. Fact number 2 says the average income of the American household is $56,516. The average retirement of an American is when you die. Okay, let me talk about me. Me, age 25, I retired. So Miss Johnson, just to set you straight, I did not retire 7 years out of college, which you told me I couldn't do. I retired 7 years out of high school, Miss Johnson. Okay, and after age 25, I decided to go on by age 26 to make my very first million. How's that, Miss Johnson? See, here is this. Here's what I want you guys to understand. The secret to life is this. If you have a goal, you have a dream, you have an objective, you have this end game that you want to hit, the secret is this is why most people fail. It's because they have this massive, massive goal, but they don't realize the bigger the dream, the bigger the goal, the bigger the fight is going to be. My favorite quote. Let me repeat that. The bigger the dream, the bigger the fight. You're gonna have to fight. See, today I have thousands of people on my team. I have over 7,000 people, 7 different countries all over the place. I have these people that have all these successes in life, and these successes, there's 2 types of successes people have. Success number 1 is type of success that come in prior to the industry. So they think they were successful in their job. They were at the top. They were making 6 figures. That's cool. They had success in their church and their family. That's cool. They had success in college. They were valedictorian. That's cool. But if you think for 1 second that prior success is going to allow you to get to the next level in this industry, good luck. Success number 2. So you join the company. This is the success you've had while you've been in the industry. So you join the company and you have a lot of success your first month, your first year, your first couple years. Okay, that's great. But if you think that success, that amount of momentum you did have is enough to take you to that next level, good luck with that. Okay, see, I'm not trying to de-edify the type of success that people have because it's good, it's got them to this point. But see, if you want to take your game to the next level, if you want to take it to that next level, you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight more. See, I have people coming to me and they're saying, Sherry, okay, I'm doing my presentations, I'm consistent, I'm persistent, I'm going to the trainings, I'm doing my 15 months, and Sherry, I'm not winning. I've been doing this for 30 days. Come on. Okay, let me fact check you for just 1 second. Look at this. Here's the facts. Okay, Pro 1s, just to be an average Pro 1, a Pro 1 on average makes about $79 a month. If you were to compare that with the amount of money you have to have in the bank, with the current, as of today, current compound interest rate of banks, you would have to have about $8,000 in the bank. Now, the average American makes $56,000 a year. The average American also saves less than 5% of their total salary. So if you save less than 5% of your total salary to save $8,000 in the bank, it would require you to save for 3 years. If you guys are Pro 1 in the room, stand up. If you're Pro 1, stand up, please. If Pro 1, stand up. To hit Pro 1, raise your hand. Less than 3 years to hit Pro 1, raise your hand. Great job, you guys. Okay, let's move on to Pro 2. Pro 2, here's the fact check, $261. Which, if you're gonna have that type of residual income, you'd have to have about $26,000 in the bank. Since the average American makes 56 grand a year, saves less than 5%, it would take them 9 years. 9 years to make that type of residual income. So if you guys are Pro 2s and you've done it in less than 9 years, please stand up. Please stand up, Pro 2s, if you've done it in less than 9 years. Okay, number 3, Pro 3. Okay, $580 a month of residual income. If you add that up into the bank, you need to have about $58,000 in the bank, which the average American makes $56,000. If you save less than 5%, it's gonna take about 20 years to make that type of money. So if you are Pro 3 and you have accomplished that in less than 20 years, please stand up. Please stand up. Okay, let's take it down to do more. Okay, Pro 4. Pro 4 is someone that makes it $1,193 on average. In the bank, you have to have $119,000, $300, and it would take you about 36 years to save up you, the average American. If you're a Pro 4 and it took you less than 36 years to get there, please stand up, Pro 4s, right now. Okay,
took 3 months.
I want to put this in perspective for you guys. Pro 5, $2,551 a month. You need to have $250,000 saved in the bank. If you save less than 5%, it would take you 64 years to get that. If you're Pro 5 and you did it in less than 64 years, please stand up and be recognized. Okay, so here's the big jump. $58,000. Pro 6 never makes about $5,800 a month. You'd have to have over $500,000 in the bank, which means if you are the average American taking less than 5% of your total income, it would take you 113 years to hit it. So if you have accomplished Pro 6 in less than 113 years, please stand up and be recognized.
The thing is that most people do this in less, 6 months. 6 months to a year.
Pro 7, but let's try it. Here's the Pro 7, $11,000 in the bank. $1.1 million is what you'd have to have in the bank. It'd take you 162 years. So if you guys accomplish Pro 7, or no, if you guys are willing to accomplish Pro 7 in less than 162 years, please stand up and be recognized. Please stand up and be recognized. Everybody, stand up! See, here's what I want you to understand. I want you to understand, I've been grinding, I've been fighting for the last 5 years. And Everett's been fighting for the last 9 years. Marcel's been fighting for the last 26 years. Okay? 30 days? 6 months? 2 years? You guys haven't even hit the hard part yet. The hard part that is required for you to truly understand what it means to have temporary imbalance for long-term balance. The requirement that you need to understand that you have to focus on the behaviors, not the results. The requirement that you have to understand, there is no excuses, only adjustments. That's what you need to understand. See, when it gets hard, let me tell you this. Most people will not hit Pro 7. Most people will not hit 7, 8, 9, or 10. Here's why. It's not that they're not talented. It's not that they're not good enough. It's not that they're not smart enough. It's because they don't have what it takes up here. When it gets hard, they quit. When there's friction, they quit. See, the analogy is this: have any of you guys ever raced horses or ever rode horses? Yes? Okay, so how many, or let's say, for you not your horse lovers, but just people that exercise and run. You guys ever run a race? Okay, so whenever you start getting out of gate and you're going, like your first quarter mile, like you're good. Like your legs are pumping, your arms are pumping, like you can run for miles. But then you start getting halfway and you start like slowing down. And then you start getting a quarter way and you start like slowing down. Then you're like almost there. But now you have no energy, like your legs are gone. Your mind is gone. Society's telling you to stop. Logic tells you to stop. Your body tells you you cannot keep going. And see, the difference between those people that have success, the difference between those winners that have success, is they don't listen to what's logical. They don't listen to what their mind says. They don't listen to what their body says. They just keep fighting. Just like this horse. Check this out. This is the little pony. You guys might know him as a Seabiscuit, this little brown pony, right? Seabiscuit was not known, like he wasn't born into a lot of money. He wasn't born into the best trainers. He wasn't even born into the best genetics, right? But what Seabiscuit had was he had the desire to win. He didn't understand that his physical limitations, he should not be able to run that fast. Seabiscuit didn't know that. But he did know in his mind, he was going to win. He had this desire to win and fight no matter what. And see, as Seabiscuit had that mindset, he kept winning his way up the chains. And finally he got to the top of the chain, and he went across this other horse named War Admiral, who just happened to be the #1 horse in the entire world in racing at that time. Okay, won everything. And War Admiral is a great big old 16 two-hand, 1,500-pound thoroughbred, like won everything. Not by just a little bit, but by a lot of it. Okay, so War Admiral walks up to this gate thinking like, okay, he can win everything, doesn't even need to try, like this is just a little brown pony, like not gonna do anything, like he doesn't even put effort because of all of his prior successes. But see, what he didn't know was the mindset of this little pony. The mindset of this little pony was he was gonna run this race like it was his first race of his life. He was gonna run this race like it was the last race of his life. He was gonna run this race like this was the race of his life, and he wasn't gonna settle. He wasn't gonna settle for anything less than winning. No matter what his body could do, he was not gonna settle for anything less than winning. And watch what transpires if you can get the lights. Pay close attention. The lights, please.
It's Michael, it's one last turn. Who will be in first? It's Seabiscuit hitting the ground first and driving for the next stretch.
Fool around.
you quit listening, when you want it so bad, you're so willing to fight for whatever you want so bad, you don't listen to logic, you don't listen to society, you don't even listen to your own physical body, you don't listen to anything except fighting, and you just keep fighting. That right there is what separates the winners from the rest, that right there. And so here's what I want to tell you, I'm only being so upfront and direct with you guys, because if one of you guys, even just one of you guys decide to actually do this thing, just one, I want you to understand that you're going to get knocked down. I also want you to understand that you are not going to want to get back up.
Truth.
That's the human mind. See, the human mind tells you to stick with what's comfortable. The human mind tells you to go work that job week to week. The human mind tells you to go do the 40-40. The human mind tells you, listen to Miss Johnson, sit down, shut up, and don't get out of line. So it becomes really easy to quit when you start getting rejection. It becomes really easy to quit when you get those no-shows. It becomes really easy to quit when you get all that pushback. But see, the nice thing is, you have the choice. See, in life, you got two choices. The first choice is to quit. To give up on you, give up on your dreams, give up on your potential, give up on your family, give up on those little kids that look up to you as a hero, give up on them. Like, that's your choice number one, to quit. Go suck your thumb in the corner. That's your choice number one, is to quit. Okay, choice number two is to fight. And fight. And fight, and fight, and fight. Who in here would like to fight? Say yes. Yes. Who in here would like to fight? Say yes, please. Yes. Okay, so, I want you all to make me a commitment here. Okay, I just need the next 12 months. Forget 5 years. I need the next 12 months. So every single time you guys feel like this thing is getting hard, every time you feel like you want to quit, everything you think that this might not work for you, I want you to always take option number 2 of fighting. And I want you guys to wake up every single morning and fight. Spend every single hour fighting. Spend every single minute. I want you to fight. I want you to fight. Just next 12 months. Just give me the next 12 months. Just nothing but fighting. And I promise you, you will underestimate what you will accomplish in the next 12 months. Who's with me? Say aye. Thank you guys so much for your time.